And 3, 2, 1. And we are not live, but kind of live.
Kind of live.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of the Ryan Report Podcast, Unlimited Leeway Life. We are in here, and we have a special guest in the building. Very special guest. Artist, creator, creative, fashion icon. Visual artist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
amongst
Mostly.
other things. But you're like mostly like, what would you say? Model, fashion?
Design is my forefront. I'm a
Okay.
fashion designer, but I do a lot of styling and I do some musing. I don't really like to say modeling because people hire me to be me.
Yeah.
So I say musing, but yeah, it's mostly design, construction, styling, and I've been getting to a lot of creative directing and production.
Okay. This lovely lady that we have in the building today, this lady is someone that I had to get on here because this is, from my observation, the best representation of what people tend to call the divine feminine, if you will. You know, she's the best representation of that from what I've seen. Embodies that in a great way, and the things that she talks about, the things that I hear her speak about, her artistry, the way she tends to carry herself, it's all very necessary, especially in the times that we're in. I believe that her perspective is very, very necessary in the times that we're in. And I, for one, am definitely going to have a very interesting conversation, especially with the stuff that I be thinking about nowadays. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, BUSSANT'S.
Thank you.
Yes, we do have one of those in there.
Awesome. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
That's a nice little surprise, honestly.
Everybody gets really surprised.
I love it.
How are you doing today?
Wonderful. I'm really happy to be here. I love to talk.
Okay.
So I'm excited to get into it with you.
Okay. That's good. How's your day been?
It's been good. Getting things done, staying on track,
Okay.
staying as focused as possible.
Okay.
And I told you earlier, as long as I start my day with a meal, I'm really happy.
Right. And she brought some gifts.
Yes, I did. We're going to have a pineapple today. If you follow me, then you know that I love fruit. And aside from being a believer in fruit in many ways, I just think it being nature's God's candy, like, people should be eating it more. Also, I think fruit is just really gorgeous and like it's physically attractive. So,
Yeah. I love pineapples.
yeah, I know.
Look, she hit me up and she was like, I'm running errands and then I'm on my way to you. But the only thing
A request,
the only request I have is that you eat fruit with me. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, fruit time, baby.
Yeah, I'm down. Nobody else brought any fruit.
Right.
Yeah, rest of you guys.
About the health.
So she told me to bring a knife. So we're going to actually do a live eating of this fruit on today's podcast. So.
We might do a little ASMR.
Oh, my God. ASMR is so out.
You don't like it?
It's gross. No, but you know what good ASMR there is? Have you ever watched a baby turtle eat like berries and shit?
Oh my God. Yes, I have. It's so
That is the
cute.
most adorable thing I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
for real.
Now, see, I'll watch that all the time.
Okay, so that's the ASMR you like?
Yeah. Baby turtles eating watermelon and shit.
All right, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. So I brought the knife and we're in here and we're going to be chopping pineapples and we're going to be talking about some things. So, and I also brought this. I thought it was fitting.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ben said,
Set the ambiance, the energy.
hey, that's right.
I'm pretty sure there's been nothing but good energy in here, but you know, sometimes something may slip.
Yeah,
Cleanse the space.
the energy in this room is it's really nice. And the people that I've been bringing in here have all been really nice people, really nice conversations. I think it's a nice environment for conversation.
Absolutely. As soon as you step in, like, at the top of the stairs, you definitely feel a presence.
Right.
I think it's interesting when you step into a room and you feel the negative energy of a room, even if it doesn't have people in it.
Like the hangar. I have a personal thing. Is it the hangar?
Where's
Or the
that?
the Hanger. It's like a club out here.
Okay.
I have a personal vendetta against that. I did
Wow.
acid in there, and like it was just like,
Not
this
good.
is not where I want to
Yeah, yeah.
be. They're about to shoot this bitch up.
Uh-oh. Well, I'm glad I've never been there.
Yeah, you probably have. But anyway, so now we have the sage lit, and the pineapple is being cut. So now we will begin with some nice conversation.
Let's do it.
Now, straight off, Dump, you were talking about this one time on your IG story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something I knew a little bit about, but not as much as as maybe you do.
Yeah.
But these spiritual powers.
Yeah.
Spiritual powers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, ever since I got into this spirituality stuff, you know, it's like steps in it. And one of the steps that you get to is people talking about how everybody has these individual or like very specific abilities or psychic abilities with that comes with their spirituality or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked into them a little bit, and the reason why it was interesting to me was because we talked about this a bit. In 2020, I was at the peak of what I call the most profound spiritual experience that I've ever experienced in my life.
Mm-hmm.
My perception of the world around me was way beyond anything that I had ever experienced in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I kind of, for instance, I could like feel the energy that was around me. It sounds super cliche, and I thought I'd never be one of those guys.
Yeah, no, not cliche at all.
I thought I'd never be one of those guys, but I could feel the energy that was around me.
Yeah.
Oh, those looks like some nice chunks right there.
And it feels right. Very excited.
That'll work.
Yeah.
I love pineapple.
Why do you
love
love pineapple?
I guess the texture. It's really wet.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
You know, pineapple has a lot of antioxidants in it. So it helps you heal fast, keeps your immune system regulated, and it has anti-cancerous properties.
Really?
And it's one of the only natural fruits
What do you mean by that?
that grows without man's
Oh,
involvement.
yeah.
There's fruits that come from the pineapple. There's fruits that come from, what else is a natural fruit? Broccoli's not real. Cauliflower's not
See
real.
that broccoli's not real.
It's not real.
God damn.
I mean, it's real. In the
Like
sense
it's really there, but
Yeah. It was made in a lab.
really. Mm-hmm. Well, damn. What else am I eating that's not real?
Most of the foods we eat aren't real.
Where'd you get this pineapple?
Bromart on magazine.
Bromart.
Mm-hmm.
It's like BREA.
UX.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But pineapple's really good for you.
Yeah, I like pineapples. I like mangoes.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Mangoes too.
berries.
You like the real fruits.
I like wet fruit.
Those are the real fruits.
All right, bananas. I used to like bananas when I was little, but like, nah, they're boring.
They're not real.
Oh, come on. No, I did see a picture like of a banana. It had like a bunch of seeds in it.
Yeah, and the real bananas are like small. They're small, they're seeded, they're less sweet and less starchy.
Man,
Most
how we living
potatoes aren't
actually?
real either.
Potatoes.
Most of them.
You eat crawfish?
On occasions, yeah.
Do you eat meat?
Okay. I'm in a really interesting transitional space, but since I moved to New Orleans, I became a pescatarian.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be weird for some to hear, because I came from New York, moved to New Orleans, and then stopped eating meat. Only just anything that swam was the only meat I ate. But my body has been asking for other things as of lately. So I've been eating more meat, but generally I like to be on a plant-based diet.
You know Fruit Orleans?
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to get Manny up in him.
Fire.
Because I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like a fake vegan. Like, I was vegan yesterday. Today, like, I had, like, I, like, ate fish and potatoes and corn and stuff. But,
Okay.
but Like, I'll just, like, jump in between them.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out, because I know mad white people that are, like, that do a carnivore diet. and they say they feel better when they do that. But it's only white people that do that.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, like, I think diet, if we didn't live in 2021, diet went like, it was, wherever you live, that's what you ate. Nobody was getting Indian food who lived in South America, you know what I mean? Like, nobody was getting African food that lived in, just a place that wasn't accessible. So
Right.
back then, we only ate what was in our region. So if you think about white people,
The
where they from?
Caucasus, in the Caucasus Mountains.
Exactly. What do they have access to
What
up there? Can't grow much, so you eat the meat. You have grains, so you can make some bread.
Eating tiger hide.
I don't know about
Shit
tiger
like
hide.
that. Shit like that. I don't know. But I do kind of feel better when I eat, like, vegetables and vegan shit. Like, straight up.
Yeah.
Or when I eat, like, a big-ass steak, stomach be going crazy.
Yeah, heavy.
Like, I don't eat fast food. Let me stop lying. I don't eat it, but, like,
Sometimes.
lately, I've been like, hey, yo, I got somewhere to be.
Yeah.
And I'm hungry. Like, let me get this, wrap this
Quick
up.
1, 2, 3,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like, but I try to fast instead of, like, going to, like, eat whatever. You know what I mean? I just try to be more conscious of that shit.
Yeah.
You know? But today we're eating pineapple.
Yeah. It's
So-
pretty good.
So, yeah, where I was at was,
So spiritual gifts.
the spiritual gifts. I was walking around and I could feel everybody's energy. I never thought I would be one of these people. It sounded very cliche, but I seen that shit. And that shit was very much real. And it was eerie and it was nerve-wracking, but it was also really cool,
Yeah.
you know? So I guess, like, nowadays, since I'm not fully tapped into that, like, 24/7, but, like, in them 2 months, it was, like, for real.
Yeah, rampant.
So now I'm like, I look around and I'm like, what is going on here?
Trying to
Because
assess.
I know that this shit is not what it looks like,
Yeah.
you know, based off of that. So I guess I've been trying to determine, was that a spiritual power? Like, people be talking to empath stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
What kind of insight can you give me on that?
honestly, and in my opinion, and having the understanding that I do about people, it is something that everyone can tap into. Everyone has access to. But it always depends on how well you are connected to yourself, how well you are connected to the source, and how often you spend time with just yourself, which I realize a lot of young people don't spend time with just themselves. Like, they're often afraid of themselves. So, of course, you can't listen to no inner voices when you are afraid of yourself and you're afraid of your mind and what you might be covering that relies in your mind. So, honestly, to me, it's something that everyone has access to, can tap into.
And that's the feeling, the energy thing?
Yeah, it's I guess if we want to put a name to it, there is a name. Like, being clairvoyant means having, like, a sense of knowing, just knowing.
Intuition.
Intuition, there you go. And everybody got intuition. Like,
Right.
we wouldn't have survived this long without it.
Right.
You know, everyone has intuition and has intuitive gifts. It's just a matter of knowing that is, you are capable of that, and knowing that that's what's inside, because your gut, which is actually called your enteric brain, I don't know if it's called your enteric brain in psychology, but you have 3 brains.
Right.
Your brain. This one's called I don't know, we'll just call it the cerebral brain. Then you have this brain, your heart, and I guess we'll call that cardiac brain. I can, like, look up the names really quick, but there's that brain, and then you have your brain that has the most neurological connections, most neurons, which is your gut.
Right.
That's called your enteric brain. Your enteric brain is responsible for your sense of self, a sense of safety, and it determines how you navigate in the world. It's also responsible for your flight or fight response,
Yeah.
which actually there are many other responses besides flight or fight. There's freeze and there's fawn.
Okay.
So everybody got that. But the problem is people aren't connected to it. So when it comes to a time where you have to put that into use, you could fawn or you freeze. You don't know what the hell to do. Like, before you experience this, like, intellectual kind of energetic space, before you experience that experience, was there ever a time where you stepped into a room or you went to a party or, you know, you were out and at some point in the night, your gut was feeling fucked up? Like, not with no drug use, but your eyes are looking around the room. You can't see any actual sense of danger. You can't see anything that's like, oh, that's going to put me in harm's way or this person is about to pop off. But you feel something and you cannot say that this is going to happen, but you know in your gut that something's going on or something's about to happen or something's about to take place.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's happened to you, but...
Yeah. I mean, I can't say that it's never happened to me, but before this, I use the words that I use. Before this spiritual experience, before I was aware of what was like going on in the background, I was a pretty just like naively brave guy. I would be in very dangerous situations, like I can't even imagine fucked up shit happening. Mm-hmm. So I would be in a lot of places that afterwards my partners would be like, yo, that was dangerous.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? I didn't know, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But like now I'm kind of a little bit more cautious of that.
Yeah.
I do understand the that your gut gets information. That's when you get like butterflies
mm-hmm.
and you get like, you know, you get that feeling in your gut. So I know what that is like. This is okay. So everybody has access to these things. This intuitive nature makes sense. Able to detect this energy. So are these spiritual powers? Do you like have a specific one that you can hone and that's different than one that I may have that I can hone?
Okay, I love this question. So when I went on this rant about clairsenses and being a clairvoyant, a lot of people were like, "Oh shit, me too. I'd experienced this." They're telling me like word for word, like moment to moment, what happened and like what they experienced, and now they're like, "Oh wow, I didn't know that that's what it could have been." But there are people that all they have to do is step into a space and the energy fills them. That I think that's simply put clairvoyance. Then there's and bear with me, I do not remember the names. Yeah, I'm a clairvoyant as well as I think it's a clairsentient.
Clairsentient.
So visions come to me in dreams. I'm a dreamer.
Okay. Yeah.
I've dreamt of many future things.
I got a friend like that.
A lot of people are dreamers.
She's it's Ray's wife. Ray's wife is a quantum hypnotherapist.
Wow.
And she's been trying to get me to come do a quantum. I'm not easily hypnotized. Like, have
you tried it out?
Yeah, I've tried it. Like,
okay.
I got hypnotized to stop smoking cigarettes, and like I was like smoking like right after. But like,
interesting.
They kind of like were trying to put me to sleep, but I get like the process that she said that it was supposed to be. Like, I'm supposed to like fall into like half sleep, half awoke, and then I just kind of hear that in this weird dream state, and then boom. But I don't know. I don't know if it's like just my numb skull that just makes it to where it's like I'm gonna just go right back to doing what the hell I was doing. You know.
When you were being like, I guess in the process of being hypnotized, what were you thinking?
I mean, it did kind of work because I was like in a weird dream state. Because I do have those moments where you're like almost sleep, and if somebody's like talking or the TV's on, you start to dream about like shit that's happening, and then you're like SpongeBob will be talking, and then it's like your grandma. You know, and then you wake up and you're like, oh, turn off the TV or whatever. You know, but she talks about. She got the visions in the dreams. She got the vision that Ray was gonna be like a rapper. Like it was. That's the crazy thing about them. Like she had a vision. Like when they needed some money and they were having a kid. She had a vision because she went through a crazy spiritual experience, and she had a vision in a dream that Ray needed to rap, and that never happens. Your wife never tells you go rap on the street, and he was like, "But babe, we need money." Go rap. That's amazing. Do it. And then he did it for like a year, and then Common found him. You know what I'm saying? So now they just like, he's like, whatever you say, babe. You know what I mean? What did you dream about last night? You know? But for me, I told her this too. I was like, dreams don't necessarily be seeming like messages in my dreams. They just seem like a concoction of my brain, what's in my head during the day. And then I go to sleep and have a weird dream about it where there's like a dinosaur in the corner or some shit, you know.
So do you find there's any kind of relevance of your dreams to your life, whether subconscious or conscious?
Yeah, they're relevant, seeing as to there are things that are going on in my life or things that I'm worried about doing. Like when I was in the rehab, that was messed up. I was in the rehab and I had a dream that I was in rehab.
Okay.
And then I was walking around the rehab, and then I woke up out of the dream, and then I was walking around the rehab, and then I woke up out the dream again, and then I really woke up, and then I was like, "Is this the real thing now?" You know what I mean?
Pinch me.
I don't know if that was a message or like I'm gonna be trapped in rehab for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? But that happened. You know? So I remember dreams.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
So,
well, when the dreams come to me, or when they are visions, because I've always had like a really colorful dream state, like that could be a whole nother episode. But I've always had a very like complex, layered, colorful dream state. Like I've dreamt about my murder like 4 times. In one of my dreams, my spirit was helping my father solve my murder. And it happened in the house that I grew up in, that we still live in New York. I've also had layers and layers of dreams, like woke up in a dream, then woke up out that dream. I've never been 3 layers deep. I've only been 2. And then I've also had this reoccurring dream from when I was a child that I've had throughout my whole life. I haven't had this dream in maybe like a year or so, and then before that for years. But it's a dream. It's so weird. It's like static. All I see is static. And like there are these figures that look like static, and some are skinny, some are big, but the whole time you see their bodies like morphing, like if you're on acid, and when you're looking at someone's face and their whole face just starts looking like a blob of kaleidoscope.
Right.
Their bodies were just constantly in fluctuation from like skinny to big. And I know I always had that dream whenever I think I was in like a state of unknowing, or not panic, but like I needed some comfort. But I say that to say my dreams have always been really colorful. But when it comes to having visions, those feel like visions.
Yeah.
So when I wake up, I mean, the main difference between my regular dreams and the visions that I get is that when I'm having them, it's like I'm being told something.
Right.
Regardless if I'm the main person in the dream. It's like there's information that's like, here you go.
Is it like hard to decipher what you're being told?
No.
Okay.
Because I've been having these types of dreams since I was a child.
So it's possible that I'm getting messages in these dreams, but I just don't know how to...
Yeah, possibly. I can actually send you a link. I started sending it to someone else that was in my life who was having like really terrible dreams and about me. And one of the dreams, he slapped me. And this person's never been like physically aggressive with me. And I'm like, the fuck I do to get slapped in the dream? Like, I'm a little mad. Like, I know it's a dream, but I'm mad. Like, what's going on? Like, that says something, that you're holding something against me that you don't even know you're holding against me.
Okay.
And so I sent him the link, and this link is like, it has from A to Z, there's like all these different pages that you could press on. Like if you have a dream of a bird or a specific bird or a blueberry, you can go to B and then go to blueberry, and it'll give you all the iterations of what it could possibly mean. And from then, when I started looking them up, it became way more clear. And I was like, all right, actually, I've already felt like this in my conscious waking life. So now that I'm dreaming about it, the universe is like, bitch, you're not seeing something.
Right.
Wake the fuck up.
Right.
And so having confirmation after confirmation was, I'm like, all right, let me stop playing myself. These are visions. Like, I haven't had them like this in a while, but these are visions.
Right.
And I'm being told something. And then weeks later, it comes true. Or there's like a confirmation from someone.
Right.
That like I dreamt of a person and they were doing this.
Is it specific? Like, did he do that? Did he like hit you? Did somebody hit you? Like,
No one's ever hit me.
or he just turned out to be an asshole?
Yeah, I think he realized that he had a lot of aggression and, I don't want to say hate, but for lack of a better word, hate towards me. And I don't know if it's because he couldn't express himself or I don't know. But it eventually came out that, like, yeah, there was just like a copious amount of anger towards me that was unprocessed. And now he's just realizing it. But I didn't have that dream. The person that had the anger towards me had the dream, and I was just like, "Here's this website. Go look this shit up.
Okay.
Go look this shit up because you keep having dreams like this." And it wasn't just with me. There was the dream he had of me was just an iteration.
Okay.
Like he was having other violent dreams. Not a violent person in life, but was having violent dreams.
He just got a lot of
Pent up,
yeah,
unprocessed anger, emotions, whatever.
right.
But yeah, so that website helped me kind of like reiterate to my own self, because I will say I haven't had a wave of these kind of experiences. Like 2020 was the year where it kind of came up for me again.
Yeah.
It happened a lot when I was a child. And then throughout my life, it kind of always kept me aware. Like my dad, I guess I'm kind of trained. Like my extra senses were a little trained when I was a child. Like my dad made us meditate with him.
Yeah, see, yeah.
He made us meditate with him, so I had to learn how to silence everything from a young age. Also, my dad would do other things that required a meditative mind. Like, he would box with us around the house. We did karate. Like, we swam a lot. Very, very close with my family. But I remember being like maybe 6, 7, 8. And me and my dad at the kitchen table, and he's like, "Let's do something. I'm going to test something out with you. I'm gonna test your third eye." I'm like, "All right."
Your dad said that?
Yes. This has always been my dad. Like, I was telling you in the car, like. So anyway, he's like, "I'm going to test your third eye." I'm like, "All right, cool. Whatever that is." So he has me we both draw a bunch of small little pictures on this big piece of paper. I wasn't that big. It was like, whatever, regular computer paper, but small little things like a basketball, a flower, a boat, a fish, just pictorial elements that would be relatively easy to kind of like decipher. But then he had me fold up the paper to like this big. And then he was like, "Close your eyes." So I don't know where he has me pointing to, but he opens up the paper and he's like, "Put your hand over here. What is this? Put your hand over here. What is this? Put your hand over here. What is this?" I don't remember how the results came out, but I just remember doing that with my dad, and my dad intentionally being like, we're gonna work on this, we're gonna test it out. But even before then, I used to this might sound cliche, but I used to see spirits. I grew up so the home I grew up in was in my family for 4 generations. My grandfather passed away there. I think I have some uncles that passed away there. I think my paternal grandmother passed away there. Or at least her life passed away there. I think her body was in the hospital, but she drank herself away after my grandfather had died. He died in his sleep, and my father found him. And I know because he had such a traumatic experience. He was 16 years old. He walked in his dad's bedroom. His mom was like, "Oh, go wake up your father for his nighttime drink," or whatever, his nightcap. My dad goes up to his room, tries to wake his dad up. He's not waking up. He flies out the house screaming, crying. And I think because of that, and then a year later, my grandmother drank herself to death. Because of his experience, he got into spirituality immediately. And I know that was a really strong suit for him and something that kept him alive and kept him surviving and kept him afloat and really kept him succeeding. It put him, just in a different space from other people. And it was rooted in, I don't want to say rooted in trauma, but because he had that experience, it allowed him to open up. And I know because that was something he really valued, he wanted to pass it down to us, and I'm his first child. So I was kind of trained to give or take. But there's so much history in that house. I used to see my grandfather. I used to see my grandmother. And I've been around a lot more unrecognizable energies and spirits in my life versus than I have been, I guess, with the ones that I know. But I've always had, my brain's always been open. So when I started to feel things, and then I would get confirmations, and then the dreams started to come into play at a young age, I'm not thinking nothing of it because it runs in my family.
Right.
My great-grandmother was a medium. She was a medium, and people came to her for her skill set. And actually, my uncle, who's actually really a cousin, but because he's older, we call him an uncle. He came into my life last year. I think he used to live in Florida, so I never met him before then. But he told me that my great-grandmother was a medium, and that Roosevelt and his team went to her to get some advice for World War, II? And I think something ended because of her. I don't know if it was like they shut the shit down, like they were like, all right, no more war because of her, but I know something ended because of her in the war. So not only did it run in my father's side of the family, like my grandmother, my dad had some abilities, my uncle had some abilities, and my youngest brother was like a baby talking about, I see grandpa.
Ray's wife, again, she had an experience where she was sitting in the living room with her mom and her mom's recently passed mom, our father.
Okay.
And she's just like, she told me this story, like, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. And like, he told her to tell her mom that he's okay.
That's real.
That's real as fuck.
That's so real. That's so real.
You know, and it's like, the thing is, I don't put nothing past that. Like, you know, some people that say that's, you know, that they can't fathom anything like that. I don't put nothing past it. I can't say I've had an experience like that. And I wonder, is that an enjoyable thing? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
How do you utilize that ability, and how does it not creep you the fuck out?
I mean, really, because I've been experiencing it since I was a child.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's like to not and then to. So I don't necessarily have. There's no fear in it. Also, my first experiences with energies was family, so it always felt warm. And then when you're aware, you know, you just know when something is rooted in evil, for lack of a better phrase, and when something's rooted in light. And there have only been 2 times where I felt a presence that wasn't light in my whole life.
So what do you like?
I mean, in a non-physical form. Like, I've been around people where I'm like, ooh, your shit trashed. But when it comes to things I can't see, I've only been around 2 energies that were like.
So you like, there's like just like definite evil core.
Absolutely,
root?
Absolutely. I mean, I think when you have it in you, there's levels to it. There's levels to it. I've been around people that have a problem, so they fluctuate between the light and the dark.
Like unconsciously, like they just, their emotions are just all over the place.
Yeah, and your environment is extremely important, or is a really big influencer, being what you eat, who you're around, the music you listen to, that environment, what you're putting in your body can either like increase that level of evil energy or decrease it, and vice versa with light and dark. So yeah, I believe in that because that's what I've experienced, you know? So I can't say that that's not real.
Right.
Because that's what I've seen.
I mean, because I've been dealing with, I'm sure you've seen me talk about the adversarial spirit and all of this stuff. Because, like, I'm trying to because I've been, like, I'm looking at stuff and I've got them 2 months in my head, like, what does this really feel like? What is it really? You know, sometimes I could just straight up feel like, yo, I don't want to be around this. Yo, I think that's right. And then some of it's just like, what am I looking at right now? You know what I mean? Is it possible that I'm looking at something that's just deciding to dress up as pure evil, but they're actually like an angel? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, I've been trying to figure that out. Where do you how do you have discernment when you're looking at something physically?
Right.
Well, I mean, I guess you could feel it. Like,
yeah, but some people are good at hiding it. So I guess because I've had to reflect on the topic of discernment with myself, because I tend to see the light in everybody. You know, it's a mirror. I know how I see myself, so I tend to see people the same way I see myself, which is very capable, good heart, means well to everyone, and wants to see everyone succeed. That is just the frequency I oscillate on every day, no matter who you are, what you've done in your past, present, or future. That's just kind of my mindset. Even if I know you've done some fucked up shit and I can see that you want to be better, I'm going to do what I can energetically and verbally to help you. So discernment, now having had an experience for the past year of like, oh shit, I need to be more self-confident in like what my intuition's telling me. But I think discernment, it's going to come down to the feeling in your body. So that means you need to be tapped in with self.
Okay, but if you feel it in your body, what am I trying to say? So like, say if you feel it, okay, so you have like a mirror, so you could walk to pretty much anyone and it will reflect back to you it'll mirror back to you your nature or the energy that you're at the moment projecting out. So that gives you the ability to see the light in anyone, no matter what you may know about them or the situation at hand.
Mm-hmm.
How do I determine whether that I'm getting a bad vibe from this person, or if I'm the bad vibe that I'm mirroring onto them?
Yeah. I feel you. I mean, still goes back to what I say, the feeling in your body.
Yeah.
For there to be, so if you think about it like a scale, we need to know what 0 is, right? For there to be 0, honestly, you need to be eating right, you need to be drinking water, and you need to stick your ass in some grass, in some nature.
Yeah.
That's 0.
Yeah.
What you feel like when you are in nature, when you're around birds, when you're around bugs, when you're underneath the sky, when you're underneath the tree, that's 0. If your 0's feeling kind of shaky, that means you're the problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you cannot spend time with yourself in nature, there's something happening inside your body that's already not aligned. Nature's aligned. Bugs do what they are destined to do, regardless of what the birds are doing. Regardless if it's raining. You know, they don't give a fuck about the squirrels. They don't care about that dog and his owner that just walked down the street. They're going to bug because that's what they're supposed to do.
Right.
So when you go into nature and you're around that frequency, you're being very mindful. So when you enter into a space of mindfulness, you have no choice but to be with yourself. So when you can't enter into a space of mindfulness, like if you're under that tree and you're thinking about, oh, whoop-de-woot and said this to me, my op was at the party last night and she spoke to whoever. If you're just replaying these cycles that are not in the moment, you don't have a relationship. If you
can't exist in that present moment, especially in nature,
you don't have a relationship with yourself.
Right.
And if you do, it's not strong.
Right.
So to me, being in nature will set your scale to 0. So when you feel comfortable, when you feel good in nature, that's your 0. When you feel good by yourself, that's your 0. Now, if you step into a space, you step into a party or an event, whatever, and you go talk to someone and they look fly, like head to toe fly, really, like they got layers, colors popping, like, and then they might be coming off as charismatic to other people, you know, but you open up the dialogue and then you could get a sense that they're very guarded, or they're definitely putting on a show, like they're, you know, it's that feeling, like whether you resonate with that, your scale might not be tipping in either direction if you resonate with that. But if you don't, you see it and this person is physically making you uncomfortable, or not physically, energetically, like, I don't know, it's going to exist in your body. It's going to exist here before it exists anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's the enteric brain.
Yeah. You know, it's like, we just, like, say this hypothetical situation, like, it's like, what, like, maybe we're both fine and we're both tapped in, but we just don't click.
Yeah.
Energetically.
Mm-hmm.
Is that... But I mean, I would assume, like, by the logic that all souls are supposed to be one, like all of us, that's
right.
not true.
Right, exactly. I mean, I guess it can come down to what is your definition of tapped in. I know what I think tapped in is.
I mean, my definition of tapped in is non-identification with my emotions and thoughts. I can like, first of all, no bad emotions for the most part. And if they do come, they don't engulf my being. You know what I mean? I can be by myself. But I've always been able to be pretty chill by myself. Like, I guess able to be sitting in quiet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No matter where I'm at.
I mean, that sounds about right.
Able to not build upon some tense situation that may manifest itself. Let it kind of just be what it is. If I'm not tapped in and something like somebody comes with like yelling or something like that, then I'm not tapped in and I'm not prepared spiritually or energetically for it, then I may confront that as well and like go back and forth with it. But like when I'm tapped in, it's just like, this is just what's happening right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And amongst other things.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think there's also, I mean, what we're talking about, discernment, is also an element of being tapped in. Like you were just saying, not being engulfed by your own emotions. I think on the other end of that is also not being engulfed by other people's emotions. I think that's also being tapped in too, because when you are one with yourself and you are aware of how you feel and your triggers and what environments set you off versus bring you peace, it can be easier to see when someone else is in a non-peaceful state or in a state in which they're not tapped in, you know, when they let things engulf them. But I think there's also a sense of having awareness of self and having awareness of others that includes being tapped in and makes being tapped in more of a skill set versus than something that we kind of just float in and out of.
yeah.
Like, I like to remain tapped in. I don't really know how I do it.
I mean, you're a Pisces.
Yeah,
Like,
we're kind of just already there.
you're just already in the
In the ethos,
yeah, you know. I'm a Taurus. I be just chilling right here on the ground.
Yeah,
You know what I
earthly
mean?
beings.
Like, you know, so that's why learning about all of this stuff is important and interesting as hell,
Yeah.
because like it's not a natural thing for me.
Okay.
You know, like one thing that I guess I noticed, I've always been a pretty much a loner. That's a part of that life past 7 thing. I don't want to say I don't get lonely, but I rarely get lonely.
Yeah.
I like to be by myself.
Yeah.
I like to be alone. I know what I'm thinking. I can control the air conditioner. You know,
Right, don't gotta worry about
Like,
nobody
I don't gotta
else.
worry about none of that. I guess a little bit more than in the past. I guess a little bit more in the past. I don't tend to enjoy being in large crowds. I don't know if that's because I'm taking on a bunch of emotions that aren't mine.
Yeah.
And I can feel the energy or something. But like when I step into large crowds of people and like, I'm trying to think of a situation to like differentiate between maybe like the environment. Like it could be a large amount of people in a nice quiet ballroom or something, as opposed to like loud, smoky house party vibe. You know what I mean? Like I can't deal with that shit like nowadays, you know? So I don't know if that's
a sense. That's definitely an empathetic, like, clear type of sense. Like, we didn't get to finish, but like I said, I forgot the names, but there's clairvoyance, there's clairsentient, which is clairvoyance, state of knowing, sentient, the dreams. Then there's clair something, but this is when people can touch someone else and they receive information, they receive a truth. Then there's also clear audio. You can hear something or hear something in something else, if that makes sense. Like someone could be saying something to you, but you're going to receive other information. Or it could also work like, I don't know, you hear a song and now you have a message. Or there's a truth that's been opened up because of that trigger of the song. So there's that. And then there's also, I think there's one with like your nose.
Claire smell, like Claire fragrance. Like
Yes,
you could smell
I think
spirits,
so.
smell the ghosts that are around.
I think so. I always thought it was really interesting though, like the one where you touch someone and you receive a truth.
Yeah.
But that could also be an energetic thing, like being around a lot of people, and oftentimes we're around a lot of imbalanced people, and it might be that you're feeling is this energy that is not aligned with yours. I think that happens to a lot of people, and maybe even Taurus. Actually, you're not the only Taurus I know that's a loner. I know 2 other Taurus, and I tend to be a loner. I'm a Taurus rising. And a lot of people tell me I come off as Taurus. But you love food?
I love food.
Okay. I mean, who doesn't? But it's a Taurus thing.
Yeah.
But it could be that.
I love food. I like sleeping. I'm a super Taurus. Like I do all the Taurus stuff. All of that shit. Like I'm stubborn
Like,
as
it's
hell. I
me.
like to eat. I like to sleep.
Yeah.
I like comfy pillows and
Right,
shit.
yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? All of that.
How many pillows you got on your bed?
3.
You don't got enough.
I got 3 and like a big red, like one with the little arms.
Oh, cute, cute,
that I
cute.
like put
Yeah.
on the side when I want to watch TV.
Okay, lit.
So, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I was just thinking of something. So, I forgot it.
Was it about the clairsenses?
I think it was, but it was something specific that it'll come back. But,
Energy, empath.
I mean, I guess I'm just super like interested. I've been trying to find out is what should we be doing? Like, you know, because
Okay.
I'm not a big. One thing, it's like, I guess that's like maybe. Like, how do I put this? I'm trying to figure out what we should be doing. I was talking a lot about the objective truth, the objective morality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it that we should be doing? And if it's not what we should be doing, what should I be doing? Is it something that I just can't partake in?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the type of music we listening to, like, as opposed to just eating healthy, we seem to all be trying to do that for the most part. But,
Right.
like, the music that we're listening to, if we fill that shit up. Because, another thing when I was in the Awakening part, there was a lot of weird, very, very specific aspects to reality that I have later defined as what could have been concoctions of my subconscious over the entire my entire life that formed into, there you go. That's what you've been thinking about. That's what you've been listening to.
Yeah.
That's what you've been looking at.
Yeah.
So now it's right there in front of you. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So
That's regular degular.
so now I'd be like, yo, like once that happened and I got into this weird space where it was like maybe some of the more negative aspects of my psyche were presented in front of me, it became very much important to stay away from all that shit. So if that shit happens again,
Right.
it's going to be nice and fluffy clouds and shit. Like, you know, screw that.
Yeah.
You know? So I try to watch what the hell I'm listening to and what I say and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all of that.
Should we go to church?
If it works for you. I mean, whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you feel more aligned. Like, I was on Instagram today.
Could you align with freaking evil?
Absolutely. What?
So wait, so there's demons. I mean, like I know. Okay, we all have these demons.
Self-proclaimed, yeah, and
Why are they
self-proclaimed.
doing that?
It's a question for them. Question for them.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Because it's like,
It's frequential.
now that I know that you can choose them shits and you can exist more in one space than the other one, I'm like, why would anybody want to exist in that? That shit is hell, fam.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, it's frequential. At the end of the day, it's frequential. It is what you know to be your 0 on the scale. It's what you know to be. If you had a fucked up childhood, your brain is going to be geared towards that 0, whatever that is. If it's anxiety 24/7, if it's popping Xannies at the age of 12 or whatever, that's your zero. That's your zero. That's what has kept you alive and kept you surviving and kept you comfortable in whatever toxic situation you grew up in. That's all you know. And what you're going to fight for is that zero. If you did not get the whole other side of the scale.
So it's like, I mean, can you like balance that out over the time of your life, or are you just like stuck after a certain point in which that's your zero and now you have to learn how to exist with demons and shit?
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's an awareness thing and it's a choice. Like, you can choose whatever you want when you become aware. That's the first step, is awareness of self. So when you are aware of self and what you are actually capable of doing in this world, then you now have the choice. You know, there are people that be like, oh, my mom was on drugs, so I'm a drug addict. And it's cool because my uncle's also a drug addict. My grandma's also a drug addict, so it just runs in my family. I'm a drug addict. No, bitch, no.
Right.
You saw how it affected so-and-so, and if you felt like it was not good, and if they expressed it wasn't a good experience, then, like, you should take heed. But at the end of the day, you are your choices when you become aware. Most people aren't aware, though. I'm not going to say that's an excuse, and I don't excuse nobody for not being aware. But you know what's right and you know what's wrong, even when your zero is geared towards evil or is geared towards toxicity. You know what's right and you know what's wrong. Because at the end of the day, you sleep with who? Yourself. You're inside your body. If you don't have a connection, even people that don't really move with their sense of self, when they go to sleep, they feel that sense of self. So when you go to sleep to your body, what's inside of you energetically, it could be 5 minutes. You're like, it don't even matter how long the self-reflection is. It's the fact that the self-reflection is happening. When you're aware that what's in your body is not of light, it is not of a progressive energy, even if you're reflecting on that thought for 5 minutes, you know. And then you go back to thinking, I'm the hottest shit. Or, you know, whatever. I'm the demon, but I'm the fucking money-making demon. Or, you know, like, you're still, even if it's for a second, you still know you fucked up in some way. And then comes in your environment. You got friends that are like, yeah, you're the demon, and I'm your demon assistant, or I'm a demon too.
Jesus
or like,
Christ.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of that. But when you have your environment supporting things that aren't truly balanced for you, of course you're going to rock out with it.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't got nobody telling you nothing. And then nowadays, young people have to raise themselves.
Right.
Which is so unfortunate. So, you don't get the example. Like, you don't get the example until some fucked up shit happens to you and you are forced to look at an example or to look at yourself in the mirror or to look at your environment and the people you're around and be like, how the fuck did I get here? Like, you fucked up. You're not supposed to be around me. I'm fucked up. Like, I need someone who's not where I'm at. And that's what everybody should be striving for, is to have people in your life, one, that understands you, that can support you, and that can help you grow. Honestly, I don't want to be around nobody that's doing what I'm doing that's at my point. I want a mentor. I want a mentor in the fashion industry. I want this person to be at least 53. Right. I don't want nobody in my age range around me, because I'm honestly the only person that has done what I've done at the age that I've done it. Right. In the ways that I've done it. Right. With the intention that I've done it with. So I don't need nobody in their 20-somethings, 30-somethings, even 40-somethings. I want someone who got what I don't got. Right. But that can also understand my plight so that it is a symbiotic relationship. When you got yes men around you, there's no growth. Yeah, yeah. And you raised yourself for 18 years, 19 years, whatever, however long. So you think X, Y, and Z is ABC, but really it's 1, 2, 3. Right. And you all confused. And your environment supporting your confusion.
Interesting. I mean, and I guess one of the things that I was just thinking about was, I remember when I went to Prosper's art show in 2020. Mm-hmm. I was out of it. I mean, well, I wasn't out of it, like, I was sober, but I was in a bad space. but it was more like a confused space because that was still at the time where I couldn't really determine if I was dead or not. So I was just walking around kind of like,
sounds like Dark Night of the Soul.
when is this shit? I remember I told you this. Yeah, Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I remember I told you this at the party at one of them pool parties.
Yeah,
I was like,
I remember this pool party.
I'm trying to figure out if I manifested COVID. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, and am I just gonna like close my eyes and then wake up and then it's just gonna all be like gone or some shit? Like, cause I don't know if I'm really here right now. Like, but I just remember being in there. And I don't think I looked sad. I think I just was looking like this. And he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't fucking know. I don't know what's going on right now, you know?" So that's just a moment that I remember with you. Because you've been popping up a lot ever since I've been in this zone, you know? People like you, I guess once you get on that journey of frequency, they just start to arrive.
Right, exactly.
You know, but I guess like back to when I was the people that you hang out with and stuff like this. I hang out with Ray a lot when I was in 2020, trying to figure out if I was alive. He would come around a lot, and I use him as that's why I was on that adversarial spirit thing a lot. Because it's like, this guy, I never met a nigga like this in my entire life. Like, he doesn't smoke. He doesn't drink. He doesn't curse. He doesn't listen to curse words in his music. If you got it playing, he's like, "Oh, man, could you turn that off?" Man? And he does it really nice, too.
Very intentional.
He's like, "Hey, man, you think you could turn on all them cuss words in there?"
Right.
You know, and I'm like,
hella polite.
you know, super polite about it. He doesn't judge nobody that does this stuff. And I started to use him as a reference for the objective morality. Because I don't think he's a Christian, but he definitely walks in the path of Christ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He said that, you know, because I'll talk to him over time, and his explanation was, it doesn't, like he has his wife, he doesn't lust after women, he's very intentional about that, and because that's a hard one for dudes, like straight up. And he says, with the women thing, he says straight up, it's because, you know, and really with anything, he's like, you can do things that you may feel it's 100% it's your right to do those things, but you can still harm. It's like butterfly effect. You can still cause harm to somebody way on the other side of the planet by doing things like that, whether that be with the women, broken hearts, stuff like that, you know what I mean? I guess with his music, it's like, you don't know that like a kid could listen to that and the one thing that you said that for some reason they enjoyed that one part, and it's just not your best day, and now they live in their whole life and they create their whole ideology around this one messed up thing that you said, you know? So that's his reasoning behind it, you know?
I love it.
I don't know if there was a question for that.
I mean, honestly, that's really spectacular and extremely intentional, and I think that's very rare to come by, because it's not, I mean, I have to applaud him for that, honestly, and for breaking it down like that, also as a man. I find that a lot of people find
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. We was at Common's house, and he's talking to Common, and like he has this, he's like talking to Common, like, because Common's helping him with his career and stuff, and he's telling him, yeah, man, I'm just trying to, you know, find a way to meet some people in the industry that align with my morals and stuff, and you're in Beverly Hills.
I love
you
it.
know what I mean? And it's like, fam, like, you know, like, you could just get this ticket right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's very commendable.
It is. And honestly, that is how artistry should go. Intentionality is going to take you so far. Ray is already amazing.
Yeah.
So many people know him, and so many people are positively affected by the freestyling he does on the street. Not, you know, like, I don't know what else Ray does, but just the fact that he's on the street performing in the way that he does, he moves people. You're not gonna run from that. you know what I mean? When you are seeing those results with being an intentional person, with sticking to your morals, you're going to want to change the industry in that light, and you're going to keep going because you have fight in your heart and nobody else is doing it. So I think it's so beautiful, and just coming from a man, I think, like, I don't know, it's really amazing. A lot of young men find life to be so fleeting, not having an awareness that what you do has an effect on people, positive, negative, or neutral. It's still something that it's processing into the ethos. It's got a frequency. It's moving at its own rate. It's going to land somewhere. Whether that's a crash land or it falls down like a feather on the floor, like, that's going to be dependent upon the intention you set when you made that move. So as hearing that, I'm like, I love it because I'm also a very intentional artist. I'm not going to work with anyone I don't want to work with. Mm-hmm. And fortunately, I have that power. I can do that. I can say no to projects because your message and your aesthetic, like, I'm an aesthetics person, like, those are very important to me. If those are not aligned with who I am and my business,
right,
you know, being intentional is very important. That is what's going to change the industries that we are in, and it's going to help people like us out more. Like, I would love for business in the fashion industry and the music industry to be more honest and open. Like, I've been played before, not many times, but freaking what's his name? Gold all in my chain. Gold all in my... Yes. I was working with his team for about a month. And then at the end of the month, they were like, oh, never mind. We're good. We don't need your services anymore. I was like, I've been working with y'all for about a month in conversation, so all that money you sent me, it's getting kept.
Right.
That's my cancel fee.
Right.
You're canceling on me. I'm keeping all of that.
Right.
But if they were honest with me in the beginning, because I just started to see things. You know, they were like pink flags, not exactly a red flag, but there were like little pink flags along the way. And I'm just like seeing the light in people. We already have verbal agreements going on. I think I might have even signed a contract. I'm thinking you're going to abide by what the fuck we agreed to. No. Right. You know, so it's like if they had said something earlier, I could have been on game. Right. You're honest, I could be on game. It's just like people want to like test. And that's the industry.
Yeah, I'm not with it.
And I want to change it, you know? Like, so I love to be brutally honest.
That's one of the things that I got to with all of this. It's like, yo, do I even want to be in an industry of any, like the entertainment industry? Yeah. I can't say certain things. I got to be around certain stuff. And it's just like,
no, not for me.
I'll do this till I'm 80. Yeah. I'm trying to make some money, like straight up, because this is comfortable. Yeah. You know? Mm-hmm.
And it's also life-changing.
I hope it does end up being life-changing.
Honestly, I mean, I feel like I see it in your eyes. It's something that has changed you for the better.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Or if it hasn't, it's opened you up in a way that you're like, this is it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's definitely, and it's really cliche because like when I explain why I did this, it's like it's cliche and people may not even really believe it, but like I'd be like, oh, like it's doing well because I'm like, oh, I knew it was gonna do well because God said do it.
right.
Do the podcast. Stop rapping. Do the podcast. And I'm like, I can't explain to nobody what I mean by that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because podcasting, you think everybody's trying to do it. Everybody does a podcast.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I like doing this. It's very fun.
Yeah. It's amazing, and I think
it gives people the chance to cook.
Exactly.
You know? Yes. Cook, fam. Like, people are out here with perspectives that have things to say, that can teach people things. You know what I mean? And everybody's perspective is valid simply because it exists on the planet as a valid perspective, whether to them or a bunch of people. So that's just kind of how I looked at it.
Yeah, I mean, we need each other.
Yeah.
We need each other more than ever now because we're being fed
bullshit.
Whatever. We're being fed someone else's plate.
Yeah.
It wasn't the plate I asked for.
Right.
So we need each other.
100%.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about angel numbers.
Okay.
What are they? Yo, what the hell are they? Like, look, because I started seeing them in like 2019, enough to notice it. I went by Ray's house. He lived at 3333 Delachase Street.
Oh my gosh.
I went to his house and I filmed something for him, and then I went home, and then I woke up and I had the speedometer on my phone, or like the stepometer, and I looked at my phone and it said that I took 3,333 steps that day.
What?
And our podcast ended at 333.
Yeah.
So basically I go wherever that guy goes. Like, you know what I mean? I hang out with him. He's also a positive influence on me. No drinking and smoking. It's just positive stuff, along with all of these very tangible, I guess, spiritual signs that I should be over there. So I remember I posted on my way to the gym. I saw 333, 777, like 7 of them or like 8 of them on the way to the gym. What does that mean to you? What does it mean actually? What is your opinion on these things?
I mean, honestly, I feel like angel numbers are messages from the messenger as a reminder to keep moving where you're moving towards. Keep doing what you're doing and how you're doing it. And then, of course, like with different numbers, they mean different things. But all in all, I honestly feel like it's a reminder to keep doing what you're doing, the way you're doing it, how you're doing it, why you're doing it. Because every time I see an angel number, I'm like, noted. Got it.
Right.
This street? All right. Cool. This person? Fire.
Yeah.
And recently, I told you, I've been seeing 111s, 222s, and 555s. And then today, how many did we see?
We saw like 3 on the way here.
Yeah. And then I pulled up at 222.
Pulled up at 222.
We didn't even peep what time we started.
We didn't. I think it was...
Might have been close to it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we thought we might have started at 333.
That's another thing. Like when I've been doing these podcasts, when I brought Frequency, when I was with Frequency, we saw a bunch of them in the car. You know what I mean?
Of course, with a name like that.
Yeah. You should watch. You'll love his episode.
I gotta check it out.
Was absolute. It shot up to the top one.
Fire.
And it was the second one. Like, I think he's on to something.
Yeah.
Nibiru. Do you know about Nibiru? Mm-mm. Okay, we don't gotta do that. Tell me about the angel numbers.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I mean, what?
When I see 111, I just, I go into manifestation mode in my mind. Like, I want some money, or I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm loved. I'm safe. I'm healthy. You know, and I just in my mind it's like, because I read somewhere that's your thoughts are quickly manifesting at this moment. So that's what I do when I see that. When I see 7. I don't know. I don't know even know if I read it, but I know 7 is like the number of completion. So I guess I kind of conceptualize it as, everything's just perfect. Yeah. I'm exactly where I need to be right now. And we saw 777 on the on the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I've read about them, and I forgot them.
Yeah.
But I think the feeling is what stays. You know, once you know a bit, you kind of move from there. But it's interesting, like, not seeing them then seeing them. And kind of reflecting on what's going on in your life when you're not seeing them versus what's going on in your life when you are seeing them.
That's another thing.
And I think that's what makes them very prominent, is because they come at a time where you can really see them. Where they're hitting you in a way you're like, I just saw 3 1s 2 blocks ago. Why am I seeing 3 1s again? You know, or like, wait, I just saw 3 7s. Like, I just saw 3 1s. Like, there's 3 7s here. What's happening? It's like, oftentimes when you see an angel number, you're not just seeing one.
Yeah.
You're seeing a series.
Right.
And I think that's what makes it more impactful.
Yeah, because I remember after I saw them like 6 in like the span of 20 minutes, like the next week, maybe I didn't see them, and I was just like looking at all that license plates.
Kind of looking for them,
like, this is fine. I'm like, I don't see them, but I guess I put it in my mind like, am I not where I'm supposed to be right now? Or are they just taking a break? You know what I mean? Like, are they recharging or some shit, you know? Because I didn't see them at all in Arizona. And I saw, like, a bunch of them on my way out of New Orleans.
Okay.
And I didn't see, like, any, for the most part, at all in Arizona. And then, once I was on my way back, I didn't see most on the way back. But then I stopped in Texas at this gas station, and they had a burger. It was like 4 a.m, and they had a burger that cost $3.33.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, and I was like, what burger?
Right.
What costs that much? What ends up costing $3.33?
Not that many things.
Like, who printed that onto this freaking?
Wait, so it was already printed, like, on the menu?
It was printed on the wall. It was like Sonic or something. Like, get our double cheeseburger for $3.33. And I'm like, that doesn't cost that much. It's $1.99 or something like that.
They're tapping into something.
You know?
They're tapping into something.
And then on my way back, like, from all the way from La Plaza, they had a car with 333 on the back of it, and it followed me all the way back to New Orleans. Like,
Wow.
I mean, well, I followed it, but it was on the same path.
Yeah.
And then I got home at 333. So I was like, and I was sweating bricks. I was sweating bricks because I ain't had no air conditioning.
Yeah.
I walked in, and my mom's was like, and I walked in, I was like, she said, how was Arizona? I said, it was great. And then I looked to the side, I said, 333. And then she said, I do hope you guys get vaccinated.
Okay, Mom.
And then I said, okay. And then I went to sleep.
Hilarious.
So.
Well, what do threes mean?
Should
I look it up real quick?
Yeah, look it up. Because I do see the threes a lot. Like, the threes, I've claimed that as my number. 3s and 7s.
Okay. Yeah, I love 7s. 333, angel number meaning. Okay, seeing 333 repeatedly may be a sign that a looming decision needs your attention. It's a signal that your path ahead is clear for moving forward. The 333 angel number indicates that despite your fears, anxieties, mislaid plans, or wrong turns, you're on the right path. The universe is urging you to keep going. That makes sense.
Keep going. Want some more pineapples?
Why not?
Oh, man. So, what else has been on your mind, Bussant? Kai?
You could call me either or. Or maybe I should go by Sunshine now.
Sunshine, that'll work.
Sunshine. Actually, it's one of my nicknames. Let's see. What has been on my mind?
You don't seem like you've been, like, super concerned about a lot of this worldly stuff that's been going on.
Yeah. No, I've never been. The world in my head is, like, bigger than this one, so I'm living in that world. Mm-hmm. Got a lot of things to do in that world. So I tend to not generate opinions on a lot because there's just no space. No space. There's a lot in here. And yeah, that's by design. Just, there's certain things I don't need to have opinions on. There are things that literally aren't affecting me. Mm-hmm. So to consider something, or in my immediate group, family, friends. So to consider something that's...
I looked at it, 323. Go ahead.
That's actually not causing or having an influence on me. It can be hard for me to live in it or to live with the experience of it. So as an artist and also as a Pisces, we are...
Raise a lot of you.
Yeah. Yeah. A raise a Pisces.
You're Pisces.
I've been meeting a lot. Not that I met Ray, but I've been getting word of a lot more Pisces around me, and it's so interesting because I've never really met that many Pisces. And to now have a bunch around me it's been cool because we're just like I don't know, we just know shit.
Yeah.
We just know shit that people don't know. We just know.
Right.
We just know. Like, oftentimes we don't need to see something to know it. That comes with the intuition. Pisces are extremely intuitive. We're the last sign to be made. So we also carry the intellectual capabilities and emotions of all the other signs. We are the last. So, yeah, being a Pisces, I'm naturally just in my world, in my head, and it's both a pro and con.
How much of that astrology stuff do you know about? Like all the natal charts? Are you
Honestly, I go as far as
the big three?
Yeah, the big three. And yeah, that's about it. I go as far as the big three.
What's your big three?
I'm a Pisces sun. Damn, I feel like I'm giving myself away here.
They say that. Somebody said that. Like, a chick had said, do you mind sending me your natal
gosh.
chart? And then I was like, I saw somebody say that's like sending nudes. But I don't care. Whatever. Here.
Yeah.
And I send it to her.
Not exactly, but I guess akin. But I'm a Pisces sun, Gemini moon, Taurus rising.
Okay. Gemini moon makes sense.
Yeah.
I get along with a lot of Geminis. Like,
me too. I love Geminis.
I've never met this apparent bad side that Geminis have. I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, like, they suck. I've never seen it.
I know. Apparently, Pisces suck too. Pisces get a really bad rep, but I love Geminis. I have a handful of really tight Gemini friends. I will say, though, they are the best finessers I've ever met.
Geminis?
Yes. I have solid friendships with Geminis. Love them to death. Will do anything for some of my Gemini friends. But they some finessers. They know how to lie really well. And they know how to, like, direct a story. For lack of a better phrase. They know how to direct a story.
Okay.
Into it sounding what you need it to sound like.
Right.
Yeah. And they convince themselves very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy I never seen that side of no Gemini, man. Because my partner Gemini, man, he's a monster. Like, he's in these streets heavy.
Okay.
He's running these streets real stupid.
Yeah.
But every time I see him, it's just it's chill. My big three is Taurus. I'm a Sagittarius moon. Those two be combating with each other like a mud.
Yeah.
And I'm a Virgo rising.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo rising.
Pisces and Virgos are opposites.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think when they relate to each other, you're the dreamer, Virgos are the dreamers, and Pisces are the healers.
Okay.
In relation to each other.
I'm gonna have to look more.
Yeah.
Into this. I gotta see, because the Taurus likes to go home, Sagittarius wants to go party.
Right.
You know, so those two be fighting all the time. I'm a Aries Venus.
Okay.
That gets me in trouble. That gets me in a lot of trouble.
Why?
Because I fall in love like real fast, and then I'm out of that shit like super duper fast. I get crushes like real fast, and then I'm like,
out of it.
This will be gone in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, type thing. Mars and Leo.
Okay.
That doesn't get me in trouble, but you gotta read about them.
Yeah.
That stuff is real.
It
So
is.
all of y'all people that don't think that stuff is real, that stuff is real. And even my partners that be saying it's not real, I'm like, you saying it's not real is proving that it's real.
Exactly.
You know?
I mean, I feel like it's applicable.
Yeah.
There'll always be a space in which the zodiac and your reading will be applicable. Because, like, as above, so below. What was happening in stars when you were born on Earth? That is an influence.
Right.
And, like, people forget, like, we are heavily influenced every day. And we don't have to see anything. We are influenced beyond our senses. You know what I mean? Like, we don't move like that. People don't move like that. People don't know that. But I got excited because, like, when I just said as above, so below, what was happening in the stars when you were born on Earth, that's a constant thing. You know, you aren't just born and that affects you.
Right.
The stars are moving. The planets are moving. We're moving. Our bodies are physically moving all the time, even if we are sleeping. Our cells do not stop moving. You know, we are in constant fluctuation. There's a constant opportunity for influence to take over.
Yeah, Carl Jung said something like that. It was like influence, like you don't choose what you want to do. You don't choose what you like. You don't choose what you're interested in. Interest manifests and then grips you. Like you don't have ideas. The ideas are like I'm over here. You were born to find me.
Right.
You know, so that you can do something with this.
Ooh. It's a collective consciousness right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Very true.
And it's fun. Like, it can be crazy, like, once you first get into it, because you're like, damn, I'm not making 90% of my decisions. You know what I mean? I'm not in control of 90% of my life as much as I thought I was. But it's got a nice little setup for you.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
You got a nice little path. It's really safe. You know?
Right.
And
once you're aligned with self, it becomes smooth.
smooth sailing.
Smooth.
Right.
Because you need that awareness. And when you know that you aren't just a physical body, that we aren't here to just get high and ejaculate and eat good food.
Right.
No, that's not. We have a whole spiritual body that lives inside of us that we also need to cater to. And when you're aware of that and you align with that, everything else is it just happens. It's lanyap after that. You got to get with God. You got to get with the universe. You got to get with spirit first. And then everything else is going to come. Like, it's a gift and a curse, but
it's a curse when you, I said that, like, maybe, like, one of the hardest things that comes with life path specifically and following your tailor-made purpose and shit is how much of your life did you build before you got to find out what you're supposed to be doing? You know? It's like how much of your life did you... Like, I read about a guy that had this awakening, and he came to all of this realization about what he was supposed to do, but he already had, like, 6 kids and a business and shit. And he, like, left his wife and went and climbed the mountains and shit. Like, you know, it's like...
Yeah, it's interesting. I was going to say, it's a gift and a curse because I was raised by who I was raised by. I already had a lot of setup. For success, for spiritual success, specifically, as well as other things. But that was the first. That was the first type of success that I experienced in my life. And then came fashion. I mean, it might have been fashion first. Anyway, my point is, because I was set up for success at such a young age, and then I just naturally had these gifts, I never really had to, like, do much to get what I wanted. No lie.
Right.
About 95% of the gigs, I'm 27 now, about 95% of the gigs that I've ever gotten have just come to me. I did not have to do anything to get them besides exist and do what felt good to my heart, which was create work.
Yeah.
That was literally all I had to do.
Right.
And people calling me from different states. I come out to New Orleans, I'm immediately getting jobs. Like, people were like, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? I seen you on Instagram. I'm like, let's work. Never seen you around. Let's work. I didn't have to do anything. So the pro is I'm chosen on a frequential basis. The con is I don't feel like I have to work as hard.
Okay.
And that to me is a con because there are things that I want to attain, or there are gigs or people that I want to work with. And I'm like, they're not going to reach out to me.
Right. You kind of feel like you're waiting on all of these things to, like, manifest in their own way, like, organically. When it's like, I could just make that pop right quick.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
but anytime I've ever tried to force anything, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Every time I don't want to say I tried to go get something, it doesn't work. It's
2020 told me that, yo. It was like, I'm talking about, you're not doing that, fam.
You can't rush fate.
You're not, yeah.
You honestly cannot rush fate. What is for you is going to be for you. And that's why finding that peaceful zero is so important.
Right.
Because once you become self-aware, it just happens. And then you start using your tools. You start using your tools in manifestation. Because you know, when you are tapped in, you have the strongest bond with yourself. you can achieve literally anything. I've gotten parking spots.
Yeah.
Off,
Yeah.
Off of like, we getting this, we pulling up, we finding the parking, and bam, it's there.
And it's there.
It's there. And this was at a time where I was working actively on my connection with self, like waking up 7 o'clock in the morning. First thing I do not touch my phone. First thing I do is my affirmations.
Yeah.
Do affirmations, and then I would like oil pull, brush my teeth, make some food, make some tea, and then I probably have 2 hours I spent in the morning just working on setting my day's energy and setting myself up for success energetically. Because once you do that, there's nothing, unless you weak-minded, there's nothing that can penetrate that.
Right.
That's why building your relationship with self and with spirit is going to be one of the best things you could ever do. Because it all comes after. It just comes right after.
I know that now.
Yeah.
So look, we're at a decent amount of time.
Okay.
I guess I'll ask, what would you like for the world to know? First of all, you can plug anything that you got going on or anything that you want people to, know that you got going.
Okay.
Tap into.
Okay.
But also, what do you think the world needs to know? The listeners.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Well, I realized I didn't get to finish the main point
Okay.
of the whole thing, but this would be the takeaway
Right.
that I want to leave people with. What should we be doing? That was the question. What should we be doing? And curation. Curating your consumables is going to be the best thing you could do for yourself. And that means what you listen to. That means what you eat. That means who you are around. And that also means the information that you're ingesting. And it also means what you got in your house, what your environment, the bed you sleep on looks like, what the color of the lights look like, what the paint on the wall looks like. All of that is an effect. And because I'm so big on aesthetics, when I got my home together was when I was like, oh, I'm so lit. Super Saiyan mode. Nobody could touch me. Right. You could say anything about me negative. It's flying. It ain't not penetrating. There's nothing you could do to fuck with my force field. And all of those things will help you build your force field. So, yeah, just curate your consumables. Curate what you are ingesting. And that comes from the people you have sex with. Even the shit you let your mama slide and say, like, dead that. Right. And let people know where you stand. Set your boundaries, curate your consumables, and everything else just comes.
That was really nice. Do you have anything you want to plug? No?
Aside from myself,
you got an event coming up?
Yeah, I have some things coming up. Some things I cannot talk about.
Okay.
But I will say I'm working on another fashion film, and I'm working on a collection, gearing it more towards the masculine-bodied folks, which I'm really excited about. For years and years, a lot of my guy friends are like, Kai, when are you making men's clothes? Like, what's up? Like, I style a lot of men, but having a collection in which people could, like, be like, I want this. It hasn't happened for the masculine people yet. So that's what I'm working on. This fashion film is about to be super poppin'. It'll be my second one. And it'll be longer than the first. If you haven't seen the first, that's actually by design. But yeah, my Instagram is Bussant. That's BUSSANT. And you can find everything that I do, everything I'm interested in there. And any new projects that are in the works, you'll find updates at my Instagram.
And that'll work like that.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's no problem.
This is a lot of fun.
This was very nice. This was very fun. I think this is going to be a great episode. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank y'all for tuning in. This is the Ryan Report, Unlimited Leeway, and we out.